Okay, today we're talking about stain. I'm over here at the Deckwise factory in Bradenton, Florida. I'm Rob with AdvantageLumber.com. We sell a ton of their oil products. We've been selling the oil-based Ipe oil, which is great. Been doing that for 20 plus years. And then we have the Ipe Oil Plus. Okay, this lasts like 15% longer, got more UV inhibitor in there, and it is just a tad darker. So that's the oil-based, tried and true. Everybody loves it. We've been making a big push towards the WiseCoat water-based finish. One, you don't have to worry about balled up rags in the corner of your truck or the corner of the job site catching on fire. Water-based, there's no VOCs, none of the volatile organic compounds, nasty stuff that you don't want to smell, and it's not flammable. So the future of finishes, it's all going to water-based. The water-based actually lasts longer than oil-based, and this is one of the few products I would say that about. Normally, you go with the old adage, the worse it smells, the oil-based stuff, it's gonna last longer. This product actually on the hardwood decking lasts longer than the oil-based. So even my own deck, we've gone with the WiseCoat, and that outlasts the oil-based. After the oil burns off, after like a year and a half, you can go over it with the water-based. So not a problem if you've been an oil-based guy or gal and you want to go to water-based. When it's time to coat it, just clean it and go to the water-based, not a problem. So the formulation has been that the WiseCoat already has pigment in it. You can see on a piece of Ipe here, that's what the original looks like. So what Deckwise has done now is they've taken the pigment out of it. We've got the pigment now in actually little bottles. So if you use it out of the gallon, it has no pigment. It's going to be clear. It's still going to protect the wood, stop it from splintering and splitting, all that, but it's going to be really clear. Some people always ask, can you have something without tint? Now you got something without tint. So this one's going bye-bye, okay? And this is the new one. The same stuff, it's just the pigment's been taken out of it and put in these little bottles. So you will get a bottle of pigment when you buy the water-based finish, but the difference is now you can just change the pigment that you get with it, and you can go either clear without using the pigment, or go with the original by dumping that one in, go with the brown, the dark brown, the gray, or the black. How cool is black? Big trend in design stuff right now, black. So, and you can use that on all kinds of woods. This is on Ipe, that's what it looks like beforehand, no finish. Boom, looks pretty cool with any one of those choices on there. This is Kumru, it's a little bit lighter, and the same thing, that's the clear. Almost looks like you put nothing on the wood, but it's being protected. The original, the brown, the dark brown, the gray, the black. Then we go into thermally modified ash. That's a big thing. A bunch of lumber companies are doing that. We sell a ton of it. And thermally modified southern yellow pine. Thermally modified woods, that's a big thing that's come from Europe, and it's getting big here in the States. This is some ugly, pressure treated. I'm more of a hardwood guy, so I'm gonna call it ugly, but it will work on pressure treated. So if you want to put oil on your pressure treated deck, that's the new formula, which is clear. This is the original pigment. Then the brown, the dark brown, the gray, and the black. So even if you have a pressure treated deck, want to make it look sexy for the new year, there you go. And if you want to use it internally, we did a little piece of pine here. Everybody knows what pine looks like without the finish. It even makes your clear pine look pretty. So, little tidbit, they've told me about mixing this up. We're actually going to mix up a little bit here. I'm just putting the gloves on because the product's a little sticky. So it's not that it's got any VOCs or nasty stuff in there like the, oil-based finishes can sometimes have. So we're going to pop this gallon open here. Again, this is the new formula of the WiseCoat, and it has none of the pigments in it. So the pigment's been backed out. Other than that, it's the same formulation, and we've been using this on hardwood decks for a long time, and it is beating out the oil. So that's what the goop looks like with no tint in there. Now you still want to stir it up, even because it doesn't have the pigments in there. It still has solids that are going to be on the bottom of that can when you get it. So you want to mix that up for a minute, get all that solid scraped off the bottom before you add the pigment. So once you got this stirred up, you want to take a little cup, and we want to take some of that without the pigment on there, fill that up. And we just want to set that on the side, because after we dump in the pigment out of these little bottles, we're going to want to flush out that bottle. I'm going to make black because that's really cool in design trends now. I'm looking to do something in my own house with black, so that's pretty cool that they have black. We're gonna shake it up first, and we're gonna dump that in there. Now you can get fancy and mix up different colors if you want. Have some proprietary secret blend that you don't even tell your neighbors what it is so they can't copy you. And we're gonna dump half that in there just to flush that pigment out of there, because when you get these, depending on the color, they're not all full. It's measured out to have this little bottle ratio to the proper 1 gallon. So if it's brown, it might be full. If it's black, it may be 3/4. It's already measured out what comes in this little bottle. So shake that about. We're just flushing that pigment out of there and dump that back in. Now you see there's still residue in there. We're gonna do that again just to flush that out. Pour the rest of that clear formulation in there. And we'll shake that about again, get all that pigment out of there. So just doing that twice is good. If there's still a little residue in there, that's fine. Now, we're making up 1 gallon here. If your deck is gonna take 5 gallons, you got a big project going on, you're gonna wanna batch this after you do the 1 gallons by themselves. Dump it into a 5, mix it all together. Because if you got a little pigment left in there, or you didn't mix everyone right, you could have a couple different shades of black going on. So before you start the project, do all these 1 gallons and then batch it together. So, and then I'll show you on the back of this Ipe here, now that we made up our black stain and protectant there, look at that, black on Ipe. How freaking cool is that? And we're just gonna go through and follow the guidelines, same that we used with the regular WiseCoat about putting it on, and then you can even go over it after a few minutes if there's any puddles up there. So there we go, we got black stain in the can. You can customize that stuff 9 ways to Sunday. You want to mix in between the brown and the dark brown, mix and match, you got it. So we're selling this at AdvantageLumber.com. It's one of the cool new tweaks from the Deckwise products, so check us out.